The Uniform Civil Code debate has gained momentum lately. It could be the next big political push for the ruling party in the run up to the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. The UCC calls for formulation of law to be made applicable to all religious communities in matter such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, and adoption. Let's discuss in detail what the UCC is all about. We'll also explore if it is time to shed personal laws based on patriarchal stereotypes. Joining us on the show today is Rahul Rao, advocate and counsel, Bombay High Court. Welcome to the show, Rahul ji.
Thank you, Sweta.
UCC, which has been, become a matter of debate. I wanted to come from you firstly because some of the viewers who are new
Yes.
and some of the viewers who are not familiar with what changes can UCC bring. For those viewers, if you could just elaborate what it is all about and how it is slated to secure gender justice, equality, and dignity of women or certain section of the society.
Well, it's a fact. I think we all understand and know that most of our laws have generally been patriarchal, which means the women always had were not done justice to. And that has been across the board, whether it is Hindus, Muslims, whichever community you really look at. Now we are looking at the laws. We are seeking, at least the government is wanting to have a fresh look at the laws in this time and age, as to make sure that no, the aspirations of those who have been somehow neglected, like the women, they are taken care of. And also, apart from gender justice, also gender neutral justice, in the sense that now we have the LGBTQ community. They need their recognition. Same-sex marriages need a recognition. Decriminalization is not enough. So, and also then there are certain areas. It's not necessarily that everything is bad. There are certain practices which we could pick up from, say, even the tribes. For example, I don't know whether you might have noticed, recently there was a Supreme Court decision which ruled from the Mizo community that there is a Mizo customary law which applies over there, applies to Mizos, and I believe there are similar customs which apply to the Bodo community. It's a very interesting practice that they have there, that you will inherit the property only if you have taken care of your parents. If you have not taken care of your parents, then you don't have a right to their property either. Now, this is something progressive which possibly is not there otherwise.
This is what I'm trying to understand. Since
Yes.
you just mentioned Mizo community, there are so many communities where women are given a superior position. Some women are not considered at all, even
Correct.
at par with men. So,
Correct.
how is it going to be implemented? Will it be implemented state-wise or national level pay? Like Goa is a shining example from which we can understand that, okay, a state has to implement it. But how are we going to bring the balance with so much of diversity in the country?
Well, one way we can do that is in a way making it optional. Now, in the sense that, say, we had this concept of marriage under the Special Marriage Act. You could get married under your personal laws, right? But you could get registered under the Special Marriage Act. You could have your marriage registered. Or you could, if you don't want to be governed by your personal laws, you could get married under the Special Marriage Act. So then
Okay.
the laws of inheritance then become different to you, and the protection of the law is in a different way, right? So if you are going to, you must remember that whenever any change is sought to be brought, there is bound to be opposition from different quarters.
Okay. Yeah.
Even earlier, when the Hindu Code Bill was envisaged, it took almost 14 years for that law to be brought in, to be finally, fall into place. And the Hindu Code Bill, as it was originally thought of, was then finally broken up into two: the Hindu Marriage Act, the Hindu Succession Act, Minority and Guardianship Act, and Adoption and Maintenance Act. And again, it was a much watered down version of what was initially discussed. It is surprising, I think, out of 29 people who spoke at that time in Parliament, 23 opposed it. But the effort was made and they were able to bring forth something. The Uniform Civil Code is not a simple matter because, as you correctly pointed out, across the country, across religion, across communities, there are different practices. To a great extent, for the Hindus, it's been more or less codified since 1956. But that again needs improvement. There are so many areas that will need to be worked on. Muslims have resisted any change. Now we are seeking to bring about a uniform civil code. So again, as I said, please understand, it's not a common civil code. It's not that a law is made, so then certain communities it will be all abrogated. No, for a certain, the constitution provides for reasonable classification on intelligible differentia. So, for example, if certain tribes are following a particular practice, they could be allowed. So, those people or that particular tribe could be allowed to continue with a certain practice. Of course, it has to be in line with the constitution, with line with what is currently acceptable. For example, in certain areas, polygamy is practiced. In
Yes.
certain, so it could be the a woman can take many husbands, or it could be the
Polyandry.
husband to take polyandry. So these practices exist. Now, what will definitely be needed is a dialogue.
So what all major changes we can see?
It is extremely difficult to know right now because we don't have the uniform civil code on the table. Once the civil code comes, then we are able to know what exactly are the changes. There were 2 attempts made at bringing it in, but they were never tabled. The proposal was made, but they were never really tabled. So this is actually a lot of noise being done without we really knowing as to what are the changes that they're really seeking to bring about. The very fact that there is change sought to be brought is making some people very nervous. I honestly don't see that as really necessary. You see the changes, you see what is beneficial for your people, your community as a whole.
Also, I think this nervousness is coming because of the fear that the Muslim Personal Law Board will be dissolved and will hold no value.
I hope it is not rammed through. I hope there is discussion. And I hope, see, Muslim Personal Law Board is just one body. It's an NGO which was created by Indira Gandhi ji to, be able to contribute to what would be the personal laws of Muslims. It's not as if they hold hegemony. And from whatever pronouncement at least some of the members have made, they said that let the code come. We will discuss it. So there are minds which are open. Unfortunately, Sweta ji, what has happened is anything and everything today is being taken into a confrontational approach. People, those who are even opposed to it, need to see and understand that there is a need for reform. People who are getting the raw end of the stick need help.
The All India Muslim Personal Law Board has called it anti-constitutional. What is your take on this?
You can't call it anti-constitutional because the constitution provides for the state to making a uniform civil code. So calling it a uniform anti-constitutional move is something that doesn't make any sense. They may possibly be talking of only their rights under Article 25, but the constitution makers were very clear that going forward you will have to, the words used in Article 44 are, the state shall endeavor. That means they will make an effort towards forming a common civil code because this has a long history. Uniform civil code. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rahul ji, for joining. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
So that's all for today. We'll meet again in the next episode with another personality discussing another issue. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.